Unfortunately, there are people out there, even people that are very close to you, that will sabotage your life transitions, your special moments. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I have been counseling men and women who have been victims and perpetrators of abuse for many years. One of the things that I wanted to talk about with, people who make it their mission to sabotage what is meant to be your special moment. So not only do they not clap for you, but they will actually stomp on your parade because it infuriates them to see you winning, to see you having a life transition and getting ahead. And, even your closest friends and your family members can be triggered by special moments for you, even if they've already had their own. So some of the big life transitions that I've counseled people on being triggered about, it has been, getting married, getting engaged, having a baby, getting, a job with a substantial pay increase, and there's certainly a lot more life transitions, but, those are some of the ones that stand out. Oh, and also graduation, from getting a degree and an advanced degree, or even a 4-year degree sometimes, but definitely with an advanced degree. One of the things that I've noticed is that, especially with women, there's men too that are triggered by these transitions, but women are oftentimes triggered by, those transitions that signify like, marriage or having babies and things like that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they always have bad intentions. It just means that they may have been in a secret competition with you, or they may have been coveting something for a long time, especially like with babies and things like that, where they haven't been successful in their attempts to have that for themselves. So to see another woman, a sister, a friend, an aunt, a niece, someone who wasn't even trying, that's almost like the worst. Like someone who wasn't trying and maybe ended up accidentally pregnant, or someone who didn't want to get married is suddenly getting proposed to. That really just sort of pisses them off. Not only will women become pissed and start to, maybe act out or lash out at you during your special moment, one of the things that they will also do is kick things into high gear and try to hurry up and rush to have the same thing as you. So you may notice that if you're pregnant, then your friend will turn up pregnant soon after you, right? Because you have that news, and maybe you're younger than them, or maybe they deem you is, secretly not as deserving or not as worthy. So they've got to hurry up and catch up to you. Having a baby, moving in with someone, getting married, and unfortunately for women that are in competition like this with you, any old person will do. So they'll pick the closest thing to them just to say, oh, I'm having that too. It doesn't necessarily even mean the same thing, sadly enough, for them. They just want it just so that they can say, this has happened to me. I now have that success, and we're now one and the same, or I'm catching up to you, or, I'm not going to let you have that. So there is this quiet competition there, and, it can be subtle, and it might be something that they never ever share with you. They may share with, someone else in the family or something like that, but know that the intent is clear. They don't like your success. They don't feel like you're deserving of it, and they feel like they deserve it more so than you do. So if you see or if you experience people lashing out. And another way that people will lash out is feeling entitled to know information. So they will feel angry about you not checking with them and telling them about what's happening for you ahead of time, and will even lash out. They will stonewall. They will ghost you and disappear. They may actually even become physically violent if something good happens for you and they feel like they should have been the first person to inform. So an example of this would be like, you have some sort of special announcement, and you make maybe like a social media blast or something like that. You can expect an angry phone call or something like that where you're getting cussed out for not telling them first. I have the rights to your information before anybody else does. And men can also do this too. And I honestly think that this is where a lot of affairs and things like that come from. Affairs, reckless spending, things like that, when men feel insecure or when they feel threatened by your success in the relationship. They may go out and cheat emotionally or physically, or sexually, or just having a long-term girlfriend because they want that attention for themselves. They want to feel, they want to be with someone who they feel like isn't a threat to them. And while you're not necessarily a threat, you're not doing anything menacing, it is their ego that is fragile, and takes the slightest bit of your success as a threat to them. So you're not doing anything wrong there, and there's nothing that you could do about that. And so unless you just want to give up altogether in doing things for your success, for yourself or for your own success, and even then, chances are highly likely that they're still going to be pissed and upset with you because now you're too dependent on me, and now I want you to get up off me, and so there's that aspect of it as well. But just be mindful that people will go out of their way to sabotage your success. And an example that reminded me of this is, I don't know if you guys watch Welcome to Plathville. I don't watch it per se, but I have been watching like the little snippets on social media. And so one of the daughters up there in this family is getting married, and her siblings are mocking her fiance. They're mocking their relationship. They're essentially saying that he's gay, and then he had asked her family to help him set up for the proposal. And one of her brothers is like lighting stuff on fire and things like that. And their mom is like making excuses for them. So there's all these things that are going on that they're undermining her relationship. They're showing a lack of respect for her. But more importantly, they're trying to sabotage her attempted happiness. And then they're actually, they actually have conversations and things like that too, where they're inherently a little bit cruel. So, let me know down in the comments if this has happened to you, if you guys have experienced this. Love to know what you think. Like, comment, share, and follow if you think this is helpful. And I'm sure we've all experienced this on some level or another. Thank you so much.